Good morning. This is Judy from Artistic Artifacts. We're in Alexandria, Virginia, and we're here with our Facebook Live this morning. Before I give you a little, introduce you to the person who made that absolutely fabulous quilt that's standing behind me, I have my announcements, as we normally do. So, I have just returned from Bernina University. You know, we were making some posts all week, and it was the big launch of the Bernina 990. Well, I have to say, I was a little doubtful when I went. I'm like, what else can they do to a machine to make it better? Oh my God, I'm blown away. This machine is awesome. It's fantastic. It's got lots and lots of things. My absolute first thing that we did in a class was sideways motion. Okay, so if you don't know what sideways motion is, then you need to come in and talk to us. It is awesomely cool. This machine is for anybody who wants to take their creation to the next level, their artistic ability. It is for quilters, for sewers, it's just for everybody that wants to go big and beyond. It's really fantastic. So we at Artistic Artifacts are having an open house, a meet and greet for the 990, and it is going to be August 5th at 1 o'clock. Now, that is a Monday. So for any of you that know us, we're normally closed on a Monday, but this is so important. I am coming in on my day off. Yes, it is so important. So we are going 1 to 4. We will have a Bernina educator with us demonstrating. We will have our floor model by then, so you'll be able to see the 990 in person, in real, in 3D. So there is a nominal charge to reserve your seat, and that's kind of to let us know who's coming, get a head count, and it's $15, and you can sign up for it on the website where the classes and workshops are. The other thing to know is that you can, now that you've seen the machine and know some of what it can do, you can still give us a deposit, and you can place that deposit online. So that is a $1,000 deposit to get you in line to receive your machine. And they are going to take care of shipping floor models to the dealers first, then VIP charter members, then the next list of people who have ordered machines from us between now and the next week. So we have a little bit of time to talk to you, get you in on the special gifts, and now that I've seen the machine, I can give you some like real action stuff. So please know that those opportunities are still available. I would encourage anybody who likes the arm space and has had an 820 or an 830, I would encourage you to come to us and trade it in. We will do 25% off of MSRP on any trade-in. And if you want to go to 14-inch arm, I would encourage you to come and see us. And the new technology is above and beyond anything that you have on your 8 series machines. So that is...
I think Nancy's
Nancy might really be interested. The space is pretty awesome. And as I said, the technology just keeps getting better and better. There's a camera, there's a scanner, there's the 14 inches, there's the hoop that will sew 12-inch square blocks. It just goes and goes. So, okay, I'm there. As I said, meet and greet is very important. We will be doing some phone calls just to let people make sure that they know and have heard about it and have an opportunity to come and see us. We do have more classes. Nancy Hershberger is here to teach a class today, but we have more classes online that are listed on our website. We have Bianni, we have Cyanotype, there's Dye Day. We did a special class for Cave 770 owners because we sold an enormous amount of Cave 770s. Even if you didn't buy it from us, we'll let you come to the class. It is doing applique in the hoop. It's awesome. It's online. The quilt has been very popular in our store. Eco printing. I wore my scarf so that you can see. Eco printing is printing with dies and stamps, and Diane has figured out how to get colors. So this is really pretty awesome. And what's really cool about eco printing is that the plants and fauna. I guess that's fauna and plants or whatever. Leaves, flora. Yeah, there we go. Everywhere. Anywhere you go. We did this in Indonesia and we got different plants. It was awesome. And now you can do it here. And Diane has the knowledge of what plants are going to print how. That's usually a mystery to me. So it's really should be a great class. And there's 2 days of that. For those of you who know Kathy Lincoln, who has retired, we have talked her into doing an advanced embroidery class. It just went up on the website. It will be by Zoom. And it's going to be a really cool tree skirt. So, but it's for intermediate and advanced embroidery people. So please sign up for that. And our solstice sales continue. So we have 25% off of batiks in the store and online. Also, to encourage you to try some batik panels, I did put some special pricing on a couple of artist panels so that you can have a try there. All right. Did I get them all?
Bolt sale next Saturday.
And a bolt sale next Saturday, which we're starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we'll give you, and it's on anything in the store. You finish the bolt, you get 40% off. For those of you online, we will be making a discount on our AA curated bundles. So not to be left out because you can't come to the store. We try to include you in all our sales. What else? Did I get it all? Okay, I even wrote it down this time.
Let's talk to Nancy.
I know. All right, Nancy Hershberger. So happy yesterday. Nancy and I have known each other for quite a while. Amazing talent. Amazing. You cannot believe what she is doing and what has happened in the last, what did we say? You told me 10 years.
10 years.
So I know.
Cindy's on.
Cindy's on.
Oh, hi, Cindy.
Let's talk about 10 years ago. Where were you? What were you doing?
10 years ago, I was making traditional pieced quilts. And I wanted a change, but I didn't know what change I wanted. I didn't know how to go about it. And, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that you've heard a wise woman say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to nurture an artist. Mm-hmm. And many people have helped me find this. And a friend who's now in North Carolina suggested Cindy Zacky's class, Art Quilt Journey. And I walked into this shop in May 15, 2014. And it was like, a revelation. All I knew was quilts were comforting. You wrap them around yourself.
And there's many people who are at that stage where, I've made quilts for everybody in my family. I've done traditional piecing. I'm kind of bored with it. What do I do next? So you were at a spot a lot of people have been at or are at right now. So
that class was instrumental in helping me find this new direction. I didn't know that such a thing existed. I really didn't. I thank you, Cindy. Thank you for having this shop that as soon as I walked in, I was blown away because of all the batiks that I hadn't seen before. The ones that you designed, and I've never seen anything like that before. So it was amazing, and all of the tools that you can use that I didn't know
existed. Or applied.
Had no idea. So in this shop right here, and your creativity and your ability to bring incredibly talented, incredibly gifted people all together under one roof has really made a difference in how I interpret the natural environment around me.
And I think that your teacher or mentor, because she's is and was your mentor, and would say that you have
excuse me,
succeeded the teacher. So, and
Exceeded
all expectations. Yes. So that is really also a compliment to she and the environment here. So we were able to encourage you. So
it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
And now you're teaching. And I said this was really cool because I didn't know this existed, but the national parks.
Yes.
They support artists too.
Yes, indeed they do.
Wow. How does that happen?
There are many, many national parks, not every single one of them, but there are many national parks who have host artist residencies, anywhere from 2 weeks to 8. Grand Canyon gives you 8 weeks as an artist to live and breathe and interpret the national park, that national park. And it started out not too far from here. I just happened to stumble on it on Facebook.
No.
And I thought, well, I had been working, studying in Cindy's class, Art Quilt Journey, and, learning how to, just trying to find my voice. But it was that national park that really helped jumpstart and, pick up on what was going on there, bring history and the natural environment together.
Is that where you did the Civil War
quilt?
Yes.
Yes.
I remember those.
That was the Civil War quilt. But, after that, it was Great Smoky Mountains, and it was the national parks and the artist residency programs that actually, they also played a role. That these parks, they helped me or inspired me to interpret the natural environment. And this one behind us was from Shenandoah. You might recognize the
bricks.
The guards.
Boy, my brain stayed at home. But anyway, the overlooks. And this one is called Spittler's Overlook. And I'm not sure what number it is in the park.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your materials, and that's a hidden sales presentation because I know what her materials are, but everybody might want to know. So,
all right. So a big part of this quilt is actually one solid piece of fabric. PFD, if you've never heard of it, prepared for dye. You don't have to wash it. You don't have to iron it. You don't have to do one thing. But one particular tool that I love to use are Artistic Artifacts paints, semi-transparent and opaque. Those two paints work beautifully in creating a whole cloth. This is a whole cloth sky, and you use regular paintbrushes that you use to paint a room. You know what I mean? They're just incredible. And I wish we had touch-a-vision here or something. But what I want you to...
Okay.
We're okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So the paints really respond well to the fabric. And even though they're acrylics, they're not acting like an acrylic on canvas. What they're doing is they're behaving themselves and allow you the opportunity to stitch it perfectly, beautifully.
Your stitching is unbelievable.
You can stitch right through it without worrying about it.
Yeah, because that'll be one of the questions. Is everybody's like, well, paint, does it stick to my needle?
No, it doesn't stick to your needle. It really knows its purpose, and you engineered that.
How?
So okay, Artistic Artifacts paints. There are quite a few different things going on here. So one question someone asked me yesterday was, how did you get this fog-like? Okay, that was done with thread. Really, pretty much done with thread. Actually, I think I used Sukaniko inks to do that. The white Sukaniko inks, not alcohol inks, no other inks. It's just that brand. White Sukaniko inks. White will stay on top of the surface. Black. I only ever use black and white Sukaniko inks.
Yes, we know that.
Okay. But those inks you can use to create the faintest lines And another thing, I took Cindy Zacky's class on how to use these inks in 2016, and learned how to use them, but didn't quite know how to apply them until years later. And now I buy them, and I use them. I go through them. So white ink to create this, just on the side of, the applicator. So that and the black, just black and white is all you need. The other colors won't show up.
So what about the ray of sunshine?
Okay, so that's another tool. Never heard of before I walked into this shop. Shiva oil paint sticks. And you have to have the right brushes for that. And I hold my hand like this because this is exactly
Her
how
mic's not working.
I mush that, white.
Hers isn't.
It's on.
Am I?
2 people have said that they can't hear her.
Oh no.
It's got a green light. So let's just try to turn it off and on again. Hold on.
Nancy, say something.
Say something, Nancy. Can you hear me now?
Keep talking.
Okay. Kate's.
Yeah, okay.
We're good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So I'm talking about Shiva oil paint sticks. Never heard of them until Cindy's class, and that they were right there downstairs. And those Richardson paint brushes, which look like
Stencil brushes.
the stencil brushes, but they're not as long as the stencil brushes that we used in the 80s when we were stenciling pineapples in our kitchens. Remember that? So anyway, they're shorter, but they're stiffer, and they work really well. And the thing I love about those paints is that they play well in the sandbox. They blend beautifully. And this was created with 2 pieces of tape, And then I just used some paint in here, and then followed up with thread that's lighter than here. So it stands out.
Right.
And up in here, I did just a hint of it with
you can see.
with the paints, just with the paints. But the one ray coming down right here in front of the rock wall, it was in the image that I took it from. So all of my labels, I used the actual image that I took. So I was with a friend at Shenandoah. Janice loaned me her camera because her camera took a better picture than mine. So I took this picture with her camera, but thanks to Janice, I got this image.
Nice.
And so I had to interpret it, and I'm not copying it. So I told the class yesterday, one of the things that I don't care for is when somebody says, oh, you're just copying the image. I'm not just anything.
Yeah.
And boy, I hope that doesn't sound arrogant, but no, we are interpreting what we're doing in landscape, and we're going to do a landscape today. Everyone in here is going to work from their own image, their own photograph. But we are constantly making decisions as to what to keep and what to edit out.
Right. You're never just copying. You're just using it as a guide or a suggestion. It's so,
Exactly. So,
All right, let's talk about this one.
okay.
This is beautiful.
This
Great bright colors.
It's actually a class sample
Oh.
for the painting a quiltable sky that we did yesterday. So these are artistic artifacts, paints, both the semi-transparent and the opaque. And it just takes practice to know which ones to use when.
And how much of it and what you have. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's practice. And so that sky is a sample of how bold you can be with these paints.
Wonderful.
And look at that, you can stitch them. And there's quite a bit of paint on here.
Yeah. Yeah. All different kinds.
So what do you use? What machine and what needle and thread do you use?
Okay, all right. This is so much fun. I use, for the most part, my go-to machine is a Bernina 880. I love that machine. So I became
You know it well. I mean,
a loyal Bernina person a long time ago with the first one, the little 440 QE, a little mighty little machine.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. And the day I traded that in for a 570, the Tula Pink one, polka dots, I loved it. I just loved it. But it was like putting the dog down when I left that 440 in the shop. It really was.
Everybody thinks that.
It was. And I had an 830, and I traded that for the 880. Again, cried all the way home just because I was so crazy about, knew that machine very, very well.
Right.
Never did a stitch of embroidery on it.
That's okay.
But I love it I bought it for the distance from the needle to the, you know, that 12 inches.
That arm,
And that's what we have with the
And
80.
now it's 14.
I know, it's tempting. It's very tempting. And so anyway, I use an 880 most of the time. I used my 880 to quilt this.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And, you know, even though I have only 12 inches, I actually quilt vertically. It's so much easier. So much easier. So this doesn't matter.
Huh.
You know?
So you don't use like a sit-down Q20 or...
I have a Q16, and I put it in the wrong room.
Oh.
But I love, you know...
But I know you've told me before, because we've talked about those
Yeah.
sit-downs, that you really prefer your 8.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I love quilting.
You got to figure out the tool that's right for what you want to do. And that, you know, nobody can tell you any differently. We can make suggestions, we can make our opinion known, but you have to decide what works for you. And when it works, you go.
Yeah.
Just keep going. So that's...
Don't get me
that's
wrong, the
important.
Q16 is a fabulous machine.
Yeah.
It really is. It's great. And my go-to machine is the 880.
Yeah, I know.
I just
It's
love it.
okay. It's okay. All right, show us this one. This is
Okay.
pretty fantastic.
Thank you. So I'm showing this off before I send it off to MD Anderson, and I really don't know if we're allowed to do this or not, but
You are.
Yeah, well,
You are.
okay.
okay, so this is my donation to MD Anderson for ovarian cancer, their ovarian cancer research auction. And what I love about this is how well Cherrywood Fabrics worked with not Sukiniko, the other
Inktense.
Thank you. Sorry, boy, brain stayed
It's
home.
okay. No.
But so yeah, Inktense and Cherrywood go hand in hand. And this is my first attempt, not at an art quilt, but my first attempt at using Inktense with Cherrywood, and I was surprised at how
It's beautiful.
well they work together.
I thought you were painting on other things other than fabric when I first saw it this morning when I walked up, and then I had to go look it closely and went, oh, it's fabric.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's all Cherrywood.
And why would you paint on anything else?
Cherrywood.
It really is wonderful.
But they're a sponsor for MD Anderson, so
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, you have Cherrywood downstairs, right?
We kind of have dabbled in Cherrywood and talked to them about it, and we just our problem at the moment is space.
Okay.
So you know, we would like to have a partnership with them, but we haven't been able to do it. So
Okay,
yeah, it's a really wonderful product, and
Yes, it is.
The staff and Carla are wonderful, but we just run out of space. So yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, I know. We've tried a little bit, but
You can order it online, but
Yeah.
this is one where I really fell in love with Cherrywood. It just
So what would you
Works
say to
beautifully.
somebody that, you know, says, I can't draw, I don't know how to use paint?
I can't draw either,
Yeah.
and you don't have to really know how to do any of that. Trust me, I didn't.
Yeah?
I didn't. You just pick it up as you go along.
Yeah.
It's about your passion for interpreting what you want to interpret, and that's just a matter of cutting shapes. Thanks to Cindy's class, you know, that's one of the biggest things I picked up on. You don't have to have, you know,
That drawing ability.
you
You
don't have to
know,
have any of that.
Art
You just-
degree.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always say follow the fabric and have the fabric talk to you about things. And that's, that is encouraging too, because I don't start. I mean, it's you. I'm speechless. Your work is just so amazingly beautiful. I just can't even.
Is this a shibori? It looks
fabric, or it probably is.
I don't.
Or a batik, yeah.
It was.
You go for color.
Yeah.
You go for color.
I love color too.
Color and texture, right?
Yeah. So now I know that there's a couple things we want people to be able to get a hold of you, but we have a new young quilt store owner in Bedford, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So this is, I know I pass this going to Cleveland all the time, and I look out at the exit going, oh, that looks so cool to stop. Now I can stop at Taylor's store. So tell us a little bit about Taylor. Very young, out of college, intelligent. I've met her. She's come to the store.
She's a very, very ambitious young woman.
Yeah.
And she's starting up a new store. Her store is going to be called Twyla's. So her name is Taylor Wall, but her shop is called Twyla's. And she's proposing, she wants to work with artistic artifacts and stock some of the paints and some other things that you have here.
And you're going to teach there?
And I think I probably will. Yeah, I think she's going to have everything from traditional quilters to, those of us who are,
as I say, given the area.
So, but we like to encourage new business owners and help them succeed. So I think that's great. And then you also are available for lectures and classes around the country.
Yeah.
And how did they get a hold of you?
I don't know. Actually, let me tell you, walk that back a little bit. I can give you my cell phone number or my email address or all
email address. Give them the email address. At least you got to maintain a little bit of privacy.
Okay.
Well, the other is Nancy's responsive. Nancy is on Facebook and she is responsive on Messenger, so you can messenger her.
That's even a better way.
She's on Nancy Hershberger and Nancy Hershberger Artist. And you can see more of her work on Facebook and more on Facebook than Instagram.
Yeah,
she's
true.
Too busy creating to do social media.
I'm a dinosaur.
Oh, no, you're not. All right. Anything else you want to tell anybody?
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for creating this environment and
you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, okay, I'm already there. And Cindy, who's been my teacher, mentor, and now best
friend,
for 10 years now. Yeah. And I wouldn't be here without you. And Crispin, who loves color and has been an inspiration as well. Yeah. I can't thank you. I owe you a world of thanks.
You give as much as you get.
So a couple things. We've heard that it was a privilege to watch this today. There's people who are asking about classes. Gwen, she's actually taught yesterday and she's teaching today, but we've already talked to her this morning about more classes, so stay tuned. Yes. And I took the class yesterday and it was awesome. So we'll have her back for sure.
Yes. Thanks. Yes. All right. So you said Facebook? We said I just want to make sure. I'll put
her work in there. Yeah.
All right. So Nancy has to get ready for class today. My first day back in the store after being at BU. So we hope that you enjoyed it. It certainly was a pleasure for me, and we hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.